Cheers, and enjoy the beers. Yes. Hello, good evening, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome once again back to in front of the cans and bottles of what I'm still ridiculously calling the Disco Arms here, Rasko and Disco beer review on this whatever day of the week it is. Yeah, Monday night, that kind of odd bit between Christmas and New Year, which always gets further complicated by being a weekend in the middle of it. I hope you had a great weekend as always. I hope you had some good beers. I hope you had a good time. More on that later. Let's get straight into the beer. I'm going to do 3 beers once again tonight, and as you know, I like a little theme on the beers. Tonight's theme is, as you see from the show title, it's a numbers game. All 3 beers have got somewhere numbers in the name. No apparent reason for that. I was just thinking the other day when I was doing show 45, some kind of record that, you know, these things amuse me. I like this amusement, and I noticed that show 49 was coming up, and I had a beer with 49 in title. I started looking at other beers in there. This one is not number 49. This one is number 10. It is from the Park Brewery down in just near Kingston in southwest London, and it's a pale ale for their 10th birthday. I'll have to check when that was. It was sometime earlier this year. I picked this up in the summer, direct from Park, beer festival in Boston Manor. I was talking about it the other week. I can't remember if I bought it or they gave it to me, but they're very, very nice people at Park. I had good chats to them in Boston Manor Park. Like I say, I'm going to, before, as Mr. Wilson, greetings. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. I'm going to do the photograph, then we'll talk about the beer, and then I'll do more hellos. But thank you all very much as always for popping in, you beautiful people. I hope you've all got a beer on. Do let me know what you're drinking if you are. Let's see if this photograph comes out. A lot of light going on with this. Let's try and move that out of the way. Too much light source. As you know, if you've not been before, and I assume all the people in already are ones that have been before, looking on the comments. But yeah, I'd like to do the little photograph, and then I'll put them up. Hopefully, if I get time, I should get time tomorrow because yeah, still off tomorrow. Hopefully, everybody else is too. Can't all be off, obviously, but got a couple up today on the Instagram, so these will join them tomorrow on the grid. Can have a little look back at the grid later on, see what I've been doing this year. So to do with the numbers, I'm going to sort of hopefully run down the numbers a bit later, see what we've done this year. Thanks everybody for coming along for the ride, by the way. But yeah, there's the photograph of that. So yeah, here's a pale ale. I did actually happen to look at the lineup, and yeah. But basically they brewed this for their birthday. They brewed a beer that they wanted to brew, just for the fun of it, really. But just get into that. Henry 420, as ever, good evening to you. Thanks for popping in and sharing the show as always. You've done so much for getting people in, and as always, the reminder to like, share, and subscribe. And as I always put in the descriptions on these lives, does anybody read them? Does anybody read the hashtags? Yeah, these things amuse me, and yeah, please click like and subscribe. It confuses or gorgeous the algorithm. The algorithm loves it, and it is free. So yeah, cheers, Mr. Wilson. Good evening to you again. But yeah, cheers everybody. Hope you all had a good weekend. Hope you had a good time. Let me know what beers you drunk over the weekend. I know Mr. Wilson's been out today. It's been all afternoon in Reading, so I'm guessing a couple of Siren beers probably, and some what are they called? Yeah, that'll come back to me now. I've had a couple of their beers. A little Kronenberg 1664 for Henry, superb. Right, there's no need to swear with some beer mungle. Change the recipe, it's okay. Yeah, I've never really got onto that for various reasons, but yeah. Let's get into this one. So yeah, really pale ale. Right, so that's that kind of. It kind of smells like a brewery. It's got that kind of. If you're walking past a brewery, and it's got that kind of hoppy, malty note coming out, and it smells like a pale ale. There's a lot of fruit in there, though. Actually, there's some good fruitiness. There's a bit of pineapple, I think. Might be another one. I know there's citra in it. I'm not gonna pretend I haven't seen it, but I can't remember what the other ones, and so I'll go back and look at the can in a minute. But there's a lot of fruitiness in there, a lot of tropical, bit of pineapple, but there is a bit of grapefruit, but it's kind of on the little edge rather than the smash yourself around the face with a grapefruit edge. So if anybody's got a beer, cheers and enjoy the beers. Let's get it down my neck. Ooh. Well, there we go. Like I said, I don't get tired of saying it because I'm just going to be honest when I do them. So I picked this one up without even looking at it. It was just because it was their 10th birthday. So, and I was chatting to I was chatting to them, and yeah, we had a good session at the beer festival in August. So this has been sitting in stash. It's another one where I've not quite been sure where and when to do it. So as with all these lives, it's just basically beers I've wanted to drink and never got around to making a video on. I can't make a video of all of them, so some I've got to go through on the live. So it's because this has got 10. I don't think 10 is actually the name, although that's what I've given it as. And Birthday Pale Ale is definitely not a beer style, particularly, but I like it. I like the can wrap. The gold lettering is probably going to be hard to come out on the photograph, but as always, love a bit of Park Brewery. I've featured them on the show a fair bit and on the reviews because I've had a couple of orders out from them. They're just a little bit too far away from me to actually get to. It's over the right side of town, but I will at some point, hopefully in the summer, take a little jaunt over to Kingston. Kingston is not my favourite place for going through because of the shopping centre. I've been there a few times. Used to hate driving around Kingston, especially delivering. But they have also got another little chat room a little bit further out in, is it Norberton? A bit further out of Kingston, so I can always go with that one and then hopefully come around the back and avoid going into actual Kingston itself. If everyone's been to Kingston Town Centre, you'll know exactly what I mean. I used to have to go there for a lot for football purposes. When old AFC Wimbledon used to play there at the old Kings Meadow ground. Park of the Brewery actually is kind of just over the back from that. Although I never actually went because it was like a bit before that time. We used to go to a few pubs, sort of. We used to go to, was it Artichoke or the Antelope in Kingston? And that was a really good pub. It is God, my memory's going bad, man. I haven't even had that much to drink over Christmas, particularly because I'm not that bothered about Christmas, although I do like beers. Been doing the Christmas beers, mostly a few stouts. Had another one today. Wandered up to my local Wetherspoons. I know it causes a bit of divisiveness, kinda. But yeah, went to Wetherspoons for another Southwest London-ish kind of brewery. Twickenham for their small batch and a pint of their Millionaire Shortbread Stout. I also had a pint of their Cinnamon Swirl Stout, which, unless it was just being overawed by the taste on the Millionaire Shortbread, it wasn't as good. So I didn't actually post on that. And then I didn't end up stopping for their London Porter, but I've got to go past again tomorrow. So I might, on the way back, if I can, stop and check out the London Porter from Twickenham. A little bit of a sherbety buzz there now on the second go. There's a kind of pineapple cubes when you get that kind of sugar on pineapple cubes. It's got good sweetness. It's got it kind of goes towards the lilt end of grapefruit, and you got that lilt and pineapple working together rather than just that kind of grapefruit really bouncing off the tongue. I quite like it. It's nice and juicy. Probably not a winter beer, but if I'd had it in the summer, it would have been alright. This hat's really sometimes uncomfortable. There was no Siren and Elusive, fair play. In up there in Reading. Yeah, cheers, Henry. Nice one, my man. If anybody if hasn't come across from Henry's link, go check out Henry 420 for some really chilled out ambient and some bouncing music. Normally, the introduction to the show features Henry 420's music, but I changed it today because I changed it the other day for the more Christmassy one, and then I didn't bother to change it back, and then I ran out of time. So I thought, well, I quite like the tune. Not that bothered about Christmas, but that's good. All good. Yeah, it's a big old place, isn't it? So much across London to find. So many places. Always going to bump into a spoon somewhere, probably. This is the thing about Wetherspoons. A lot of people kind of want to get on the back, and I have done myself in ways, but when I see a certain beer, and that's the good thing about it, and I wish more pubs would do it, when they got the app that will actually tell you what's on, so I can avoid it, not go there, or I can make a beeline for certain beers like I did with the Twickenham small batch ones today. I've seen Twickenham about years ago. They've been going a long, long time. And at least I haven't been. I did look in the early days of lockdown and stuff when I started buying beers for the channel for getting beer deliveries. I did look at Twickenham, mostly in 500ml bottles, and I couldn't quite get around to it. So I keep seeing them in Wetherspoons, and being where I am in West London, I see them more in spoons over here rather than in any pubs because I haven't really got any pubs that would do them. Probably have to go a bit further over to Ealing for that one. So yeah, it's more like I say, 5-6 years ago. Again, still only in Wetherspoons really. Never got over to Twickenham to check them out. But again, that's a nice little journey. Actually, I could go Twickenham, Kingston, little cycle tour of Southwest London, maybe. Oh, cheers, man! Love a Christmas vibe. It's a good old YouTube music special. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it's a little bit of cheese, but that'll do. That'll do. Mr. Wesley, you've been to Twickenham. You must have seen a few of their beers about down the southwest corridor. Also, have you been at Park yet? I know they've got, like I say, they've got 2 tap rooms. Well, they've got a tap room and like a little cafe kind of tap room style thing, a little bit further across town. Let's have a look at this beer then. I'm actually enjoying it. I can tell there's Citra there. It's got that kind of slight grapefruity note of Citra hops. I think there's 1 or 2 others in there as well. I didn't look too closely, but Citra kind of sprang out at me. It's going to, innit? Snapped me around the face. Right, so let's have a look at the old magnifying glass out. We've hit a big milestone this year. We're celebrating our 10th birthday with a style of beer we love. A juicy pale ale with stacks of tropical flavours. Hops are, that's a new one. Celia, Citra BBC, Simcoe and Cryo Sabro. Celia. I don't know anything about. I need Mr. B in to be telling me about that, or maybe Shock. Maybe I should go and look it up. Reminds me of that Sug song, isn't it? Celia, you're breaking my heart. Oh no, that's Cecilia. That's Celia, not Cecilia. Do a little rating system here, which is interesting. A bit like similar to sort of Brew Yorks, but a bit more basic. It's interesting. So they got 3 out of 5 on the sweet. I wouldn't even give it that much in sweetness. There's no real sugar sweetness to it. 2 out of 5 on the bitter, and 1 out of 5 on the dry. Yeah, there isn't a massive amount of bitterness to it, but it is mostly on the grapefruit. And I've been tweaking a regular fair amount of spoons over this side. I think they get national as well with them, to be fair. Cheers, Henry. Be back in a sec with some good food. This is the thing. That one I put out was Twickenham small batch. But how small can it be if they're supplying a lot of the local Wetherspoons in the southwest London corridor and probably north as well? But it's good to see. Yeah, please try it. Nice lacing developing on the glass there. Usually a sign of something pretty decent. It's going down a little like fruit juice, to be fair. there is that kind of big fruit juice element to it. I always like to have a look around and see some other stuff. So let's have a quick look at Park. I've managed not to do any beer orders this week, which is good. I'm sort of averaging one a week, which is good for the beer, but not good for the bank balance or the beer stash. I've got, unfortunately, accidentally had too many in there in the beer stash. So yeah, I'm going to try not to order some from Park. The first time I saw Park, they had an amazing American brown ale called Isabella. And I spoke to them about it, and they said they probably weren't going to do it again. So, and it usually comes out around about this time of year, so I'm hoping that it might be on it. I think what they've done instead is that stout, Satan in the Suburbs. It's a hell of a name, but yeah, they do quite a lot of pale ales. Oh, there we go. Oh, they got hats too. Yeah, Satan in the Suburbs, 4.5% stout. Amelia, the Mosaic Pale, I have had that one before. Not too much on. They must have had a good run at Christmas, because I'm sure they had more on before that at Christmas. So not too much on there. They've had a couple of decent stouts off them in the past. Yeah, there we go. Josh and Frankie, husband and wife, set up Park Brewery in 2014. It's the same, 10 years. With the aim of creating really sumptuous, juicy beers, hop forward, standout ales to be savoured, enjoyed. Well, it's definitely done that, certainly with this one. Obsessive home brewing followed throughout 2013, and after encouraging feedback from friends and local bottle shops, we made the leap. We invested in a small kit, 200 litres, found a tiny workspace, and Josh was booted out of the family kitchen to continue brewing adventure. And joined by his wife. Yeah, so nearby Richmond Park. Yeah, so lovely little brewery, like I say, and down there in Kingston. This one's a decent brew. Oh dear. Whoops. Missed a Bigfoot Clubfoot. Smashing the camera. That's not good. Wouldn't be a Rasko and Disco live. I might have even found a better camera angle there, to be honest. Would not be a Rasko and Disco live stream without some kind of technical difficulties going on. Took me long enough to get in today, late as ever, and the hat doesn't fit properly. Here you go. Have you noticed? Got t-shirts as well now at the brewery. For those who've never seen this before, Imperial Brewery is my local brewery. I do a little bit of workout now and again, a couple of days a week. Obviously, you're going to buy the merch as well. I quite like that t-shirt, actually. That's the back print. All merch should have a back print, merch t-shirts. Talk about Park being like a craft brewery, and it is, but that's a very traditional kind of beer aroma for a craft brewery. Those hops coming through, not massively bitter, but it's got that nice juiciness. It is light in the body, as you can probably tell on the, obviously very hazy, but quite light colours, darker on the camera. But it's very nice, really smashable. Light enough. Oh, I'll tell you what I didn't do. Change the banner. Maybe I missed that one. Yeah, so 5%. Yeah, good, solid beer. I would expect something more, maybe from a birthday beer, something a bit nuts, a bit crazy, something a bit 10%, maybe. Maybe they did something like that as well. I'm not sure. So obviously that was early in the year in the summer, but yeah, good, solid, smashable pale ale. So much so, I like to do 3 beers, 20 minutes. I'm on 20 minutes. So I'm going to smash this down and get back on to the next beer. Yo, Sammy, thanks for popping in. Cheers, sir. Short and stout beer reviews. Check them out if you haven't already. Should put links in, shouldn't I? I'll get onto that next year. Let's see. I'll start shouting about everybody else's. I've got a list of people to shout out later. Actually, yeah, Christmas, isn't it? Cheers. So yeah, if you listen long and haven't got a clue what's going on, feel free to click like, subscribe, and drop any questions you have in the chat. As reminded by Henry 420. Take any questions about beer. I hope you all had a good weekend. As I say, I was working. Well, pretty much working both days. I wasn't working both days. I was just up there both days. Imperial, slinging some beers on a Saturday. It was fairly quiet this weekend. So that kind of difficult. Well, it's almost January times now. It's going to happen this weekend. But where we are, it's kind of fortunate we have a lot of really decent regulars who pop up, make it worthwhile, slinging some beers. Quite a lot of beers on at the moment, supporting the cans that can range that we've just put out. So we've slung a few cans as well. We've got national delivery going on as well. So we've put a few cans out on delivery last week from time for Christmas. What's anybody drinking tomorrow for New Year's? I'm not really doing New Year's, I don't think, any more than I'm doing Christmas. I shall most likely be here checking out my friends at the Bar Steward Sons of Valdunican. If you was on the stream last week, you might have seen them. I popped up their Christmas quiz just in time for Christmas. Shared their stream. Did anybody check them out from that? Have a little sing along. So yeah, they take popular and cheesy music songs and bar stewardize them into more drinking songs generally. And yeah, I love watching them. They do a YouTube live show. Every now and again, it's been less. It used to be every Saturday, 2020, 2021, and now it's kind of every now and again, and certainly Christmas and New Year's. So that's what I should probably be doing, sat right about here, listening to the Bar Steward Sons of Valdunican, or more specifically, Scott Dunican and his wife Amanda. A little puppet show for some surrealism and general laughs, and another quiz. Yeah, so that was Park Brewery. I'm going to call the beer 10 because it's their 10th birthday pale ale, 5%. Lovely, smashable, juicy, fruity, pineapple, grapefruit, touch of other stone fruit. And once again, in date. Didn't check the date. Nobody ribbed me about the date. What's going on? You got to remind me to check out the date. I believe this one is still in date. Guile 254. Really? Should be more than that in 10 years. We're around about that in a moment. 8th of July 2025. So we are in date. That won't last, by the way. It's just a running gag about me not doing in-date beers because I've got far too many sitting in the stash I've not got around to. So we got a huge mix of US stuff. So you might start them for New Year's, not going anywhere. Just want to kick it home. Fair play. I should imagine there's a few big beers in there to normally celebrate the new year. I hope it's going to be a good one. You know, I mean, this year wasn't too bad. Now things getting back as they are, and they've been all right. I think I said that in last year's kind of roundup show. It's like, yeah, 2023 was slightly less mental than the previous year, but still not that great. This year has been a bit odd, but lots of weird stuff has happened. Personally, I've been all right. Like I said, I've just been working away, keep myself to myself and drinking some good beers. On that note, let's get this down my neck and move on to beer number 2. Cheers. Yeah, that's all right. That's a good finish. So let us go live now to Beer number 2, please. And beer number 2, we're continuing in the numbers theme, as it were. A little bit, I don't know, tenuous, this kind of numbers theme, a little bit unnecessary, but these things amuse me. This one is a 70 Shilling, which for the purists among you probably all know is a Scottish ale. Some call it a wee heavy. There's lots of different types of Scottish ale that I'm still not quite sure of. I should know a bit more because I do drink quite a lot of Scottish beer. I'm probably putting it in a very, very un-Scottish glass, but it is only a 330, so it will fit. In fact, it's actually a Czech beer glass. But I think the Scots are friends with the Czechs. Both some good beer drinkers. Well, we'll do the photograph anyway. Nice, kind of browny red colour. There's a little bit of red bleeding through there. Bear me a second whilst I do the photograph. For the Instagram purposes. Once again, especially if there's anything interesting to say about this beer. It's a beer style I should like and don't really go to that often, or as often as I would like. But it sounds like a beer style that is very much my kind of thing. With that kind of darker malts going on. It's not too dissimilar actually to the little bit of brown that was bleeding through the pint, like I say, the stout I had earlier. Trying to plug the phone in. But yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, crikey! You are on the day, aren't you? You are on. Well, you're on the afternoon, I guess. Oh, early morning, right? Yeah, of course, yeah. So I might do a few beer reviews shortly. I take it easy, not too hard. Yeah, I'll probably have a look in. I've only got these 2 beers to do, so. Yeah, Bellfield, a brewery I know absolutely nothing about. The 330 can kind of gives it away as to where I got it from. It was one of those dreaded Beer 52 boxes that I forgot to cancel. I say I try and do it every month. Cancel it, or cancel the subscription, or you can cancel it for a month. I managed to do it this month. I've got to remember by about 2 weeks' time to do it for January as well, because I just don't need any more of their boxes in. I kind of let this one slide because it was a box of Scottish beers, and if you saw the other day, I had a really good one from it. That one was really nice. Bounty from Vault City chocolate coconut stout. I'll put that up there. It's not quite a beer of the year contender, but I had it after the live stream the other day over on Geordie's channel. We were shooting the shit, and I don't really know what was going on, but I could at least understand him. I didn't need subtitles. I always take me out of that, but I can speak guttural Scottish. I really enjoyed that beer, as I think I said on the Instagram when I posted it this week. Yeah, really the closest beer I've ever got to actually tasting coconut. Coconut and vanilla is 2 flavors I never ever get in beers. So that one it tasted like a Bounty, but a Bounty bar. Yeah, Vault City up in Edinburgh, bringing out some massive beers. I think it's the first stout I've ever had from them. I have got a couple of stouts in from them. They mostly focus on modern sour beers and really heavy ingredient heavy beers, heavy bodied sour beers, not necessarily massively sour, generally some pretty good stuff, but yeah, that's the most sessionable stout I think they've done. I've got 15% in there, haven't I? All right, let's have a little sniff. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so kind of reasonable malty base. I think there's a little bit of toffee there going on. Yeah, a little bit. Almost more like a red ale, possibly. But anyway, yeah, let's cheers. Let's try it. Interesting. I think it's the first I've had of the type. I keep looking at Big Jock, was it Broughton Brewery up in Scotland? I've seen them for a while and never got. I got Wee Jock and Big Jock. Wee Heavy, 70 shilling. It's a Scottish beer style, all of its own. 70 shilling, 80 shilling, 90 shilling. I think it gets progressively stronger as you go up the scale there. This one is fairly light, but it has got that kind of big multi-element, kind of red, kind of rye kind of note. It has dissipated. There's a little fruit note to it, but it's kind of clinging to the glass pretty well, so it's not bad. It is quite... kick the fucking camera again. Jesus Christ, you think I'd know what I was doing now? Get me big feet out of the damn way. All right, focus. There we go. There you go. All right, yeah, Bellfield. It's a nice one. I'm going back to it, see what else I can pick out. There's a little bit, like I say, kind of toffee notes. There's no... It's not yet gone... Like, sometimes with that note, there's a little bit of kind of copper penny note. There's that kind of slight wryness to it, but it's all nice and balanced. Good sweetness. Vague touch of nuttiness, maybe. I think. Say, don't know too much about the style. I should know more. Right, 70 shilling. It says here, a chestnut coloured ale, brewed in the traditions of the classic Scottish heavy, balancing a malt-forward profile and low bitterness with a brisk sessionability. Expect a light, characterful finish of subtle caramel, chocolate, and treacle. Crafted in Scotland for the free. Yeah, so 4.1%, which I thought was actually a bit low for a wee heavy. I just imagine a wee heavy to be a bit heavier. It has actually got treacle in it. Also barley and maize as well. That's that kind of rye note, I guess, going on. Best before. See base of can, it says. So let's have a look. It actually says 70 shilling on the base of the can as well. Wow. 03 2026. I'm all good. I could have sat that there for a bit, maybe, and see how it develops. But yeah, definite drinkability. There's no rough edges to it. Like some kind of brown or red ales, there's a little bit of roughness sometimes around the edges. I call it definitely. I wouldn't say it was smooth and silky, but it's definitely balanced, easy drinking. There's no kind of roughness to it. Ever such a slight red berry fruit note to it. Thinking maybe raspberry, touch of strawberry almost, oddly. But yeah, all nicely balanced and smooth, no rough edges, like I say. I think Scotch ales is something that I should look at a bit more. I don't get the chance, but I will try. Yeah, there's something else on there as well. It's definitely not chocolate. Maybe just the merest hint of kind of bitterness of dark chocolate, perhaps. There is a slight sort of bitter edge to it. It doesn't say what the hops are. I imagine it's not heavily hopped. Yeah, it's another one that doesn't really say. I prefer when breweries tell you the hop. I'm not going to do that much with the information because I still don't know me hop contents and varieties, but I like to learn, so it'd be nice to know. I suspect there's some kind of British hops in there. I find the 70 shillings tend to have a metallic edge. Interesting. I think that may be what I was saying like earlier, that Twickenham one earlier. As you got further and further down, there are some traditional ales that do tend to go a bit, I call it toffee penny. It's like a copper penny wrapped in a toffee. And there's that's why I think that metallic edge to it as well. So yeah, I think it might, if it wasn't such a long best before, I think it could go towards that. Because it is also fairly thin, a little, I don't want to say weak, that sounds kind of bad, but yeah, wee heavies are normally like in the 7s or 8s. I think they've avoided actually calling it a wee heavy. I I think on the Beer 52 website they describe it as a, what was it? In the style of a, in the style of a wee heavy, in the style of a Scotch ale. Not sure, but yeah, they stopped away from calling it a wee heavy, and I think I've just made that leap in a way. Pierre Bruno, it's good to see you. Thanks very much indeed. Cheers. This is the sort of thing you'd probably be enjoying. Well, I was about to do that, but you say I just looked at the range. Apparently, they can vary between 5.5 and 9%. I think that's where it goes 70, 80, 90. So I imagine a 70 shilling would normally be about 7%. I think they've called it 70 shilling as the name. I don't think they're actually saying it's a 70 shilling and a wee heavy. I think that's more the name. It does say they're 4.1% malty and dark, gluten-free. Yeah, well, it's definitely got that malt component to it, maltiness. Not completely dark, but yeah, there is a darkness to it, kind of dark red edge going on. I like toffee pennies. Yeah, but not when it's an actual toffee wrapped in a penny in a beer. There's a little bit more of that now coming through. So I better get it drunk quick, really. Yeah, so 2 lightish beers. The next one's going to be a bit more interesting for a number of reasons. 1 o'clock of toffee pennies. I'll go around home in 2 hours. Going to hit the booze. Yeah, superb for that odd bit between Christmas and New Year. I forgot that it was New Year, like New Year's Eve tomorrow. I thought it was later in the week. I always make that. It's like 6 or 7 days from Christmas Day. I do remember what day it is. I haven't had that much beer this week. But yeah, I always forget New Year's Eve. I certainly have done for the last 5 years, but I'm not really getting involved with it. But yeah, probably won't bother tomorrow either. I'll just be here. But if anybody's on live, I might pop in and say hello. Like I say, I'll be watching Bastard Sons of Ardunicum probably. To go select my beers for that. I'm not sure what I'm actually drinking tomorrow. So I've got a massive stash, but a lot of it I haven't reviewed yet. So I might have to go and I'll tell you what I might do actually. I got a beer called Midnight Disco from the I was just looking at the edits. Still haven't edited that video. I might try drinking that at midnight. That might be fun. Either live or not. Probably not live. I don't think I'll get the chance. But I tell you what, there's a nice swirl on that. Really nice swirl on that. And it looks like it revitalizes it well. And it's got like a kind of almost spirity alcohol legs a little bit. Doesn't change the flavour. There's still that kind of lightness to it. Say at 4.1. Shark, good evening to you, sir. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're having a good day pre New Year's Eve. Had the elusive panettone beer. Didn't work for me. Got marzipan hits, which didn't fit. Yeah, so that was the one I tried on the live the other day, wasn't it? The Santa Stomp. I believe, yeah, it didn't fully work because I didn't get all of the notes of what it was meant to be. It was just kind of slightly spiciness. Marzipan is one, I've never a fan of marzipan. It's got that kind of almond note. I do like almonds, but not marzipan particularly. But yeah, it's worth trying, especially this time of year, isn't it? It's good fun. Vague Christmassy notes. I've still got a couple of Christmas beers to do. I was going to do them this afternoon, but I ended up going out to the pub instead and trying those stouts from Twickenham. So I don't know when I'm going to do them. I hopefully not leave it too long. One of them's Brass Castle's Christmas Kitty, which I had a year or two back, and I always try and get every year. But then I always end up not quite reviewing that one. I don't think I ever have. Well, I'll scroll down in a bit. I plan to scroll down in a bit because I see a lot of people at the moment doing beer of the year and roundup of the year. So I vaguely called this, it's a numbers game, like a roundup of my year in beer. I don't think I've got a lot to talk about. As I said last year, and I remember doing this, I watched it again earlier. doing a kind of roundup video, but I'm not doing like beer of the year anymore because, as I say, I'm sort of, whereas before I was industry adjacent, I'm now a little bit in the beer industry, and so I find it really difficult to, even with the amount of beers I drink, I find it difficult to select a beer of the year because it's a sort of, it's a difficult category for me because I feel I'm a little bit biased because I've got access to so many beers and they're all good. I enjoy all of them, and even I would even find it difficult, and I said this last year, to pick a Perivale beer of the year, because they're all just good, just darn good. It would probably be one of the variants of Very Hazy, and that's a beer that rotates hop lineups. So I don't even know which hop lineup I could pick. It might have been the all Citra hop lineup, Shot Canoes, if I did build it. Perivale was my last brewery of the year, the last time I did it 2 years ago. So I know I'm a little bit biased. I do slightly compare everything to the beers on tap, which again is unfair. You've possibly seen me review a few Perivale beers along the way. And that, so yeah, I've got a couple of beers of the year that would be contenders, and I'm not going to. I'd find it difficult. I'll come on to that again in a bit. Putting away the festive stuff, ready for a festive beer. See you in a bit, sir. See you in a bit. Talking to Slurpy Dave, I did that last year again. Did the roundup of all the people I watch the most of last year, and ended up, I think, giving Slurpy Dave the title of beer YouTuber of the year for me because I watched pretty much everything he put out. It's just, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to do more jokes like Slurpy Dave does. I often banter with him on jokes and puns, and I never put any into the show, so I should really. Talking of which, Rasko would choose London Black. I think he would. I think that's a foregone conclusion. Why would not choose London Black? It's not even touching the recommendations. It's a little unfair because I've only had half and those cans. But what I did have, talking of London Black, I believe, I've got to go and try it again just for think. I actually believe I had a better version of London Black from another London brewery who just called it London Stout. And I'm not sure I don't think it was a nitro, but the Colonel, I had half a Colonel the other day, and I haven't had a Colonel beer for a long, long time. I kind of overlooked them a little bit because, well, I haven't been at pubs that serve Colonel for a long, long time. But yeah, I was in a pub down just off Notting Hill. Went to see the Churchill Arms. Had a little drive around, see the lights on the Churchill Arms. Didn't get a video out of it because it was, quite frankly, too many Ruperts and Camillas standing outside making a lot of noise and just generally clogging up the pavement. So we looked at the lights and then went for a wander. Found this lovely little pub called the Mall Tavern. Had a 19-20 keg lineup. And it was quite quiet. So I popped in there for a swift half because I was driving. I had this lovely smooth, again, I put it up on the Instagram, lovely smooth London Stout from the Colonel. Worth checking out if you see it, I believe. If you like that sort of thing. And indeed, I do. But yeah, love that Slurpy Dave did pubs of the year. There's a nice little spin on it, like nice little different. I still can't do pubs of the year because I haven't been into enough pubs. Personal reasons. Like I say, popped into one the other day. So yeah, when I get back out into reviewing pubs, which I need and want to do, but for personal reasons I haven't. And to be fair, I can't disagree with any of the selections he had. They all looked great. He's put them in videos this year. I do enjoy Slurpy Dave's not devil may care attitude. He gets some great edits, puts little bits in, and I love the jokes what he slips in, and it's just sort of enthralling and entertaining content for me, to be fair. So if I was doing a list, he'd probably be at the top of it. Again, with honourable mentions for yourself, Sharp, Mr. B, Bamwell's Backroom Breweries, who did, well, again, I'm biased there because he did some excellent reviews about the Perivale beers that I sent him, which I sent him because he was on the show this year, which was kind of a highlight. Crummy Beard again gets on there. I said Henry 420. The other one is Travel and Brews. Liam at Travel and Brews, and I mentioned it again the other day, is quite frankly amazing effort at getting 96 different supermarket lagers. It's the kind of content I'd always wanted to do, apart from the 96 supermarket lagers, in a kind of World Cup of beers kind of playoff, blind taste testing all of them. And I genuinely believe that he did do it all blind, and then had to go back and buy them in the second round and the third round. And I watched the final, and a bit of a shock in a way, but also not, I suppose. Go and check Travel and Brews out if you can. Immense efforts, following up from last year's immense efforts of drinking a pint in a different European capital in 72 hours, trying to get around 10 different European capitals, was quite frankly immense. In so many ways, lager insanity. Liam is proper wrong. Well, he's right. I guess it was basically like, kind of for the content anyway, because lager's probably the most popular. But yes, it's insane that he kind of did that. 96 different supermarket lagers. I don't know if he's got to go around and the next one is 96 different supermarket pails, because that would take there must be more than 96 supermarket pails, do you think? I don't know. Roger, cheers, thanks for popping in, sir. Another gentleman, a distinguished beer gentleman, joining from across the pond, and I've popped into his lives. If I've been up late on a Thursday night, said hello, and always had a general chat. Always been some good stuff. So he's on the honourable mentions list as well. But so a 70 shilling that's possibly not a 70 shilling or not a wee heavy. I think it's 70 shilling only in name. Perfectly drinkable, really interesting. A good starter into that kind of beer style that is probably less well known. Some reasonable lacing on the glass there, so it mightn't be too bad. The only trouble with beer 52 beers is how long have they been sitting in the warehouse? How long have they been sitting in the courier? Don't know. Like I say, I try not to feature the beer 52 boxes. I normally just do, and I have done a couple of videos for the content, but I normally just, if I forget, I get them in. I'll just drink them like on a Wednesday when I'm playing darts and don't have to think about reviewing them. But now and again, they fit into this little series. Like today, it's a numbers game, so 70 shilling obviously fits because these things amuse me, Anyway, cheers for beer 2. 4.1%. Scottish heavy ale. Yeah, see, that's what they say. Scottish heavy ale. That's why I put it on the banner, because they don't call it a wee heavy. They just call it a Scottish heavy ale, even though it's not that heavy. Anyway, these things happen. Perfectly drinkable beer, to be fair. Reasonable balance on the flavours, reasonably good flavours, not too much on that kind of metallic coppery note. Smashable. Cheers. Yeah, fairly easy to knock back. Have a little palate cleanse. Has anybody else got a beer on? I see them some slightly crazy numbers in the top left-hand corner of my screen of people who are watching, supposedly. So if you are, do let us know what you're drinking. Do join in with the chat and discussion. You've got a kind of wee heavy. Superb. Look forward to your thoughts on that. I need to get into that kind of Scotch ale, that wee heavy stuff a little bit more. But instead of Scotland, I'm going to another region of the UK that I probably have had quite a few beers from. I'm going to Wales for beer number 3, please. And there's another one probably not that well known in the Welsh beer scene. It's a brewery called Mad Dog. And this, seeing as is a show 49, I've got a bottle, and it's been there a while, called the 49th Chapter. And it is a 10.5% Russian Imperial Stout. So if I can find my bottle opener, I am a little bit concerned because if I get that far when I roll back down through my Instagram feed, I have had this beer in for a while. But it's a 10% Imperial Porter. How bad can it be? Let's have a look. If it doesn't go everywhere, Well, it shouldn't do. It's Imperial Porter, and it should be all right. No, we're good. Right, so I'm going to get in a glass. Again, a small glass because it's a 330. And it's going to be a bit of a sipper. It's definitely very, very brown. Looks a little light. Good head development. Looks like an Imperial Porter. Should, doesn't it? Hopefully that head stays. There's still a little bit of fizz there, to be honest. See if it stays whilst I do the photo. Hey, got a reminder in. Good stuff. So yeah, 49th chapter. I don't know what the 49th chapter is or what it's relating to, but we'll have a look at that in a second. Let me just crack the photograph away and we'll find out what it is. As you know, I like a porter, I like a stout. I don't necessarily like something 10%. But sometimes, if it is that, I'll do it. It's fine. It's not a problem. Some beers don't need to be 10%. But then, as we've just found, some beers don't need to be 4.1%. Sometimes they need to be a bit heavier. But this one, 10.5%. It's been sitting there at a reasonable temperature for some years. As I say, only really been buying beers for drinking at home for what is now, well, nearly 5 years, isn't it? Started in early 2020 for obvious reasons. And there we go. Hasn't really worked. Slight issue with, and same with the other two actually. If you've got a long name, it kind of tends to roll around the edge. Makes photographing difficult, but that'll do. Yeah, there we go. 49th chapter. I can't work out whether it's been spilt on or got wet, and it's kind of that, or that is that kind of sort of like a smoky note on the artwork. But never mind. This is what I mean. It won't focus. Well, it says November 23, so it's been sitting there a year past the nominal best before date, but it's 10.5% Russian Imperial Stout. Slightly jealous of that one. Well, I mean, basically, the trouble of holding on to all these beers is that I end up talking about beers that nobody else can get. I'm not kind of show off and go, look at me. But yeah, it's the last Mad Dog beer I have. And I've been to them a couple of times, and they're based in South Wales. They've got a tap room in Cardiff, and now they've got a tap room, bizarrely, in Brighton. We'll look into that in a bit. But yeah, it's a brewery that I first came to my attention probably just before lockdown of 2020. I think it was one of the last football trips I did where I went up to Gloucestershire, and I found this a bottle called Stouty McStoutface. So obviously I was going to try that. Let's try this one. I'm not getting particularly strong aromas off it. There's it smells all right. It smells a bit boozy. It's got a kind of slight chocolate note to it, so it's all good. Yeah, it says a new beginning, 49th chapter. Let's dive in. I'm kind of keen for this one. It's been there arguably too long. It's been in the stash. Cheers. Ooh. Oh, it's still good. It's got a good edge to it. It is, I don't know. There is a thinness to it, as you can probably see by the. Oh, what's that? It tastes like shortbread. There's a bit of slight butteriness, which often can be an off flavour, so it's a bit worrying. But that wouldn't be an off flavour for me, taste-wise. There's a bit of buttery shortbread in there. There's the slightest coffee note. Porters, I generally look for kind of a bourbon biscuit kind of note. I don't quite find it here. There's a certain biscuity, almost wafery kind of note to it. It's got that strength. It's got that 10.5% strength. Head development is staying. It's not dissipating, and you can already see the lacing starting on the side of the glass there. I can't show you anything, Mad Dog, because they've actually stopped. Oddly, they've stopped doing cans, stopped distributing cans. They had a great web shop, some really great can names, great beer names on the cans. And mostly, I think it's basically just to focus on the 2 tap rooms. It's quite an odd, geographically odd diaspora of 2 tap rooms. The first one opened in Cardiff, and then they've opened one in Brighton, which is kind of, I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know, the owner moved to Brighton or something. I don't know whether they brew in Brighton as well or not. But there is one I found on. Oh, forgot to put this one up. Yeah, I found it on their Instagram. So, yeah, they started in kind of mid Wales. They nearly went out of business around about COVID times, and then I think they got a little bit of injection of cash or got something sorted, and they came back again with a lot of their old beers, etc. And then opened the tap room in Cardiff, and then now recently this year got one in Brighton. So I'm just going to scroll down and look for the. I saw a bunch of pub clips earlier, and it just kind of summed it up. What I remember of Mad Dog. Yeah, I can't find it. Yeah, so this kind of buttery shortbread thing is a little bit of a worry, but it's not a problem. A little bit more chocolate cream coming through there. I wouldn't say it was decadent. Definitely not voluptuous and silky like some stouts. It's not even smooth as that stout I had this afternoon, that trad stout from Twickenham. It's definitely a spirity edge. I think, again, get it a bit warm. It's almost a Malteser note going on. Definitely a Malteser note. Oh, yes, indeed. If we could smash the like button or just tap it gently, it's fine. It is free, and it makes me look good. And the algorithm loves it and all that jazz. Yeah, thanks very much indeed, as always. Untapped list chocolate and brandy. Yeah, I guess it is that kind of that's that spirit edge. It's not particularly whiskey. It's not particularly strong on the spirit, but it's definitely there. The chocolate cream's coming through a little bit more, maybe. Hey, Lagerlog's popping in as well. That's another one on the list of honourable mentions for this year, the 2024 roundup. The Lagerlogs did a great stream with them. Sent me some of the beers that they made up at Stuart Brewing. Had a lot of fun with that one. We carried on chatting on a lot of Stu stuff that he posts on, and Tom has popped in a couple of times on these live shows, usually right at the end. So probably got about 10 minutes for that. But I assume it's Stu. Exactly. Yeah. Happy New Year. For 24 hours time, I guess. 3 times I've kicked the bloody camera. What is that all about? Can't believe it. Also puts all Anyway, that puts all the focus out. So this is the question. I always used to have to put hashtag disco at the end of all my posts so everybody knew. Now everybody knows it's me because Rasko doesn't post that much anymore. But there you go. Yeah, I always like to get the greetings out of the way early just in case it doesn't really work out tomorrow or the whole system goes down. But there you go. Really enjoyed that one. That's nice. I don't want to be smashing it down. So yeah, I'm talking about a roundup of the year. It's been an interesting roundup. It's been an interesting year, 2024, certainly for content-wise, because I've mostly been doing it on my own. And that's fair enough, no problem. Rasko was kind of busy at work and stuff, and he said he was taking a step back, and I said, fair play. Like, you know what I mean? Real life is more important than this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you got work to do, courses, like learning stuff and blah, 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 and, you know, family and whatever. Much more important than talking to me about beer or drinking beer. So that's fine. So I've done the content on my own, which is fine, because we were anyway. We was kind of, although we was doing lives together, we was also doing individual content. Well, certainly for the last 4.5 years. The year before that was basically just a vehicle for us to meet up and talk about beer at beer festivals, pubs, etc. And then we had forced to do individual videos at home, and then we done the lives. For me this year, it's been more about the lives and the video. Like I say, we're up to episode 49, part 49. I know, do I call it an episode or chapter or part? We've called different things, different ones over the years. So I went with part, the new live show, because it was, sans Rasko, and stuff like that. So Rasko does a lot of Sky. Yeah, it's kind of art, man. Did you see his mince pie series at Christmas? I actually bought my first mince pies for Christmas just this afternoon because I happened to be in Waitrose. And I was looking at, and my favourite part of Christmas is always the bit after Boxing Day where you wander around I wander around the supermarkets and find all the reduced price Christmas tat that I don't need, and will just make me fat in January and don't bother with a diet in January. But yeah, 4 mince pies for £1, 25p each. Enjoyed that, and some 75p Stollen. That's my favourite bit, is the discount stuff. I didn't get any discounted beers because that doesn't really apply. But yeah, that's Rasko does his own thing over on Instagram. Rasko on Gram. Whether we actually get around to doing any more content on this channel or not, I still haven't decided. I've also not decided whether I'm going to keep it as Rasko and Disco. I did say I would for this year, but we'll see what happens next year. I won't get into that, but I'll see how it goes. But as this year goes, I'm quite pleased, to be honest. I'm not doing it for the numbers, but it is a numbers show. So let's have a look at the numbers. I don't mind showing this. Do you know what I mean? I had a quick look at the old channel analytics. And this is the one. So at the start of the year, at the start of the year, hopefully you can see that there on the 1st of January, we had 173 subscribers. We now have, and in fact, it's gone up, mostly thanks to Henry420 sharing it. It was 520 at the start today. It was now 533. So we bust through that magical, mythical 500 barrier mark. And I want to thank, and I have already thanked each and every one of you for clicking on subscribe. And hopefully the content's been worth you sticking around. The algorithm loves it when you click like and make comments either in the live chat or if you're watching after the event. And there are a few people that do watch after the event, and obviously I thank you greatly for popping in and liking the thumbnails and enough to click on and join in. But yeah, comment down below, talk to me about the beers. I will pretty much always reply to nice comments. Well, I always reply to nasty comments. If you think I'm terrible, then tell me. I don't mind. But yeah, I'll usually reply. It gives me encouragement to keep talking rubbish on YouTube, really, and bringing more beers. Like I say, this beer, unlikely, it might even be the last, and I do like doing that kind of thing. Let me get those numbers out of the way. This could be the last the last bottle of this anywhere ever, apart from, I imagine, in Mad Dog cellars or whatever, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I keep doing it, just to enjoy beers. And I like watching everybody else's, because like we can't all do every single beer. Another reason I don't really do beer of the year is because I haven't had every beer to judge which one's the best, and there's no such thing as the best. It's just the best what you've had. So yeah, like I enjoy tasting beers, I enjoy drinking new beers, I enjoy finding new beers. I'm going to try not to buy so many beers, although I do have an idea of a video where I might have to buy some beers for in the new year. I've still got 4 videos to actually edit and get out. I've still got 2 Disco Day beers to edit and get out. And I've got another Disco Day beer video to make. I think I'll do it on Friday. Friday might be Disco Day. No, I can't do it on Friday. No, what I'm talking about, I'm working on Friday, so I can't do Disco Day on Friday. Oh yes, that's terrible. So yes, I've got another collection of disco beers. Might do it Thursday afternoon if I can. Actually, that's a better idea. But yeah, no, thanks for all your encouragement. I hope you keep doing the live. Yeah, I think it's. Like I say, I've got a lot of beers to get through, so I enjoy it. I enjoy chatting away and, like, you know, everybody else bringing beers and stuff like that. Yeah, what's in the name, eh? I always kept it as Rasko just because a nod to the fact that Rasko started it up in the first place. This is all his fault. Oh, sorry, Stu. Yeah, cheers, Stu. Let's make some videos together in 2025. I have some ideas. I'll come to you with that next week for that very purpose. But yeah, I really enjoyed the live that we did earlier on in the year. So yeah, happy to do some more stuff, man. And now I can send you beers. Got it sorted. We've got national delivery, and I think I can just, well, chuck some beers in a box and get them on the courier. So yeah, happy days to you and Tom, of course, as well. I got 27% beer called Poker Face at Beer Mungle today. Oh, I saw somebody posting about that. I didn't realise it was Beer Mungle. Poker Face. That's talking about slurpy jokes. That is the best way to annoy Lady Gaga. Poker Face. I had a much better joke lined up. I don't know if I'm allowed to do it because my favourite joke of the year, in fact, possibly my favourite joke of TV, and much as I hate to admit that I actually watched Gavin and Stacey the other day, I don't know if that's cool or not to admit that, but everybody seemed to love it. I loved it for one little bit, the best bit of the entire thing, and the best joke on TV this year. And I don't watch a lot of TV, by the way. I just happened to be around my parents, and it was on. The best joke, and my favourite joke of the year, is 6 little words that they managed not to complete. They didn't even need to do the punchline. They couldn't. It's filthy. But I'll let you do the punchline in the comments if you want, if you saw it. And I think it went mostly unnoticed. I've only ever seen one other person talk about it. Everybody's going, oh, it's lovely they got together and all that, blah, blah, blah. But for me, this joke was the best setup. And like I say, it was too filthy. They didn't do the punchline, didn't need to do the punchline. They just kind of left it hanging and moved the dialogue on. But it was the 6 little words of, what's better than eating a mandarin? I'll let you do the punchline on that one. If you don't know it, ask. I will tell you separately. What's better than eating a mandarin? Yeah, that's my favourite joke of the year, by the way. Coming very late. And that's the other thing. I tend not to do beer of the years or anything of the years until the year's actually finished. Because like any one of these could have been the best beer I've had all year. And I'd have to include it. And I do tend to find that, like, my memory is fairly selective. So beers I had a long, long time ago, in January or February this year, often don't get a look in, which is why I kind of want to, scroll down a bit. But, yeah, I think I'm going to say these two are probably in contention. This one, because I'm kind of shocked with it, with all the hop notes in it. It's an 8% double IPA, 2 Flints Found You. I just enjoyed the 2 cans I had of that more than I thought I would. And the other flock beers I had weren't bad either. That Vault City one sort of gets a special mention, but won't quite get in there. This one, Had this on a live, and again, because I was so shocked about it, Doris gets her oats. Another 10.5% beer, I think, or was that 11? Yeah, Imperial chocolate and cardamom stout. Just those flavors of that spice in there with the chocolate notes. That would possibly get it if it weren't for the fact that, as I say, I'm incredibly biased. And we brought out a Christmas pudding stout. And Rob at Mr. B's Bramwell Backroom Brewery very kindly reviewed the beers I sent to them. That's a 7% stout with raisins, cinnamon, bit of orange peel. I had that one alive, and I was on Sharks after party. It was either on Sharks Live or on the after party at Simo's. Big shout out to Simo, has always been very supportive. Always pops in, not today, but that's fine. Simo Sups, go and check his channel out as well. Yeah, I don't really remember drinking it, but that was a really nice, and that sits really well in the pints on the bar, alongside a 7.5% honey pale ale that I still haven't got around to doing a video of. But yeah, let's have a quick look. I was going to do this, and if you'll indulge me for another hot minute, because I've been going for far too long as it is. But I was going to have a quick scroll down, and the best way I was thinking of doing beer of the years was just simply scrolling through the Instagram feed. Again, because most of it from this year has been me posting on the Instagram. I will scroll quickly through the YouTube dashboard as well, just to have a look at what I did videos wise, because I have got a couple of favorite videos. There we go. This afternoon is that Millionaire Shortbread Stout small batch. That won't get anywhere near beer of the year. It was good enough, but not amazing. There on the left hand side, alongside the Bounty Stout that did at the weekend, is that Colonel London Stout. I mean, just looking at that, I don't know how well you can all see it, but I've used the word complete perfection. I mean, I put me out. It's mostly because Rasko says that London Black is perfection. I think this is a little bit more perfection than London Black myself. And if you see that creaminess, it's a bit of an optical illusion on the shadow there, but that is a big, thick, creamy head in a half-pint glass. And yeah, I described it as delightfully smooth, creamy and silky, balanced coffee, touch of cocoa, and slightly smoky cigar notes. Very drinkable. Yeah, I only had a half of it, and I don't like to do beer of the years based on only having had half a beer any more than I like doing only having had a can or something. But it was, I don't know if I was surprised. It was just, it did take me slightly by surprise. I'm like, oh, okay. I was just expecting a stout, but it was pretty voluptuous, pretty smooth. And yeah, it went down far too quickly. And it's something I'd go back for again. So there's the Christmas beers. That cafe stout actually there on the left from Sultan, the tequila one, that was pretty good. That was probably another honourable mention, I think. Again, it's recent. I could go back and try that again because it's probably still in supermarkets. And again, Creative Juices, there were some good beers from them this year, which I talked about. Lost Cause, really enjoyed the look of those beers. Haven't tried them yet. But let's see what else I can try. What else I can remember, to be fair. I haven't got into all of the beers I've bought recently. That Fauna one, that red grape, the oak red grape and cherry was pretty good, but it was last year's beer. So as you can see, I did get out into pub a little bit, Hop and Vine down in Ruislip, my local. It's a long way to scroll down, and there's that Doris gets her oats. Yeah, wow, what a lovely beer, really nice. Big beer with great flavour, strong yet drinkable, very drinkable, smooth velvety chocolate with a touch of warming spice and great sweetness. Noticeable but smooth boozy edge. Yeah, it's 11% cardamom stout. Really enjoyed that one. I can't include that pumpkin porter. That was a good beer despite being in supermarkets from Northern Month, but it was last year's. Is that Two Flints? Again, that's fairly recent. Well, I did get it a while back. that winterberry crumble from Vault City there on the left, pretty decent. It was nicely balanced. That's possible nomination. Again, those Kirkstall and that Dark Revolution beers, haven't tried all of them yet. Haven't got into them. As Otherworld beers were looking pretty decent. So something I want to get into again. There's some more Weatherspoon stuff. God, I only back as far as October. So I've been posting a lot recently because I do these 3 beers and then I sort of post them the following day. Do bear with me a second. I'm going to do the intro again. Back in just a sec. Small issue. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Oh, that was good timing. Sorry about that. Just had to sort something out. But that was like a little interlude. I do like the intros. Anybody else like the intros? I was putting them up on shorts for a while just to kind of not advertise the show, but you know. Yeah, that wasn't the end. That was just a brief interlude whilst I sorted something out. Still finishing up on this. Yeah, I'm going to finish off. Looking at the grid, and I'll quickly look as a kind of roundup. I feel like I should do some sort of roundup, and the best way I've got of doing it, there's the beers there from, as we were talking about earlier, Tom and Stu from the Lager Logs sent me 2 beers. Really enjoyed that show. Really enjoyed drinking those beers. Indie Rebel, some people's brewery of the year, possibly Indie Rebel. Double Barrel, that's who I was thinking of in Reading. That was a good day out. That was a good day out. That was definitely my favourite trip of the year, and I didn't do that many. Again, out in Kensington, at the Czech Embassy for Czech Beer Day, drinking a bunch of Czech beers, and some really, really good stuff. That's where I got that Czech glass from earlier. Wow, that was a good day out. Yeah, cycled into London at the Kensington for those beers. I'm sure there's some other stuff. That London Pilsner, that was actually a proper decent beer. That was the first guest beer really we'd had on the bar at Perivale, because we'd run out of our Pilsner, so we had to get something in. We got it local. They was very kind, dropped us off as some kegs, and that was really nice. Big shout out there to the Dodo. That would definitely be in for my micro pub of the year, and definitely be in the running between that and the Hop and Vine in Ruislip. It'd be very difficult to decide between those two, because they're both sort of, well, one is local to me where I live and one's local to me where I work on the other side of the borough. But yeah, I've got to get out to some more micro pubs. I want to go to the one in Watford. I want to go back to the ones in Rickmansworth as well, Wishful Drinking, and the one in Croxley, the Anchor, Found an Anchor, and yeah, the one in Watford. I want to go to the one in Acton, a Pint of Hops as well at some point. So next year's micro pub of the year might be a bit more interesting. The Owl and Pussycat as well. That's a great shout. Down in Boston Manor with a cheese shop next door. Picking wild hops. Hope to do that again next year. Getting the wild hops beers. There's the Park Brewery. We had good chats. Like I say, that's that beer festival I'll pick this beer up from. August. Got sent some beers this year. Got given a few beers. Like I say, both Tom and Stu sending me their beers from the lager logs. That one on the right hand side there, all the way from Canada. Got given a beer. Technically, that Stannery I was given. Accidentally, it was given to my boss, and he gave it to me. So I reviewed it, and that Disruption is Brewing was given to me as well as part of the previous year's festival. There's last summer's disco day, midnight disco, Overtone and Flock. I believe that was pretty good, so I think I might try it. Like I say, maybe try that again tomorrow. Do let me know if you've had any of these, and if you agree, basically, if any of these are beers that you that fit. Yeah, 6.5% IPA. Then a couple of beers from Overtone, big beers, slightly big price, but yeah, that's the lineup, including a stout from Piala. Enjoyed that one. Seems to have been to Creative Juices a fair few times, and yet not quite enough. Had some good times up there. The only other brewery based on a farm within the M25 that I can think of. I know there's a couple of others down south, but that's another series I want to do. Just visiting all the breweries on farms in London. I mean, Creative Juices aren't necessarily in London, but they're definitely within the M25, although only just. So that's a video series I want to do next year. All the big breweries based on a farm. Obviously, Paravel's one. Creative Juices, I think there's one down south. Titsy, I believe, is on a farm just inside the M25. And again, do let me know if you see one or hear of one, so I can put that series together. That would be really helpful. Twisting my lemon, man. Whether I get onto the YouTube or not, but that was one of my favourite videos. A lemon sour. Also, lemonade that we made as well. Get onto that in a minute. Yeah, I had a trip out to Indy Rabble over in Windsor. Also had a look at Two Flints whilst I was there because they're only next door. I'm not sure whether that gets a nod for my beer of the year. Alligator Tugboat. It was good. I'm not sure if that was too hoppy or not. Oh, that always used to be a shout for me brewery of the year, Turning Point. And there's 4 beers I haven't got around to. Got them sitting in the shed. Bit of disco bonus material. As long as I can get the next disco beers out of the way, disco day beers out of the way, I'll have to do that afterwards. I need to get through there, man. Really do. Yeah, Ealing Beer Festival was a big thing. One of the big festivals, pretty much the only festival I've been to this year. We even made, I would say, our biggest delivery I've done. We had 9 casks go out to that from the brewery, including this one here, Okie Dokie, an oak leaf infused dark ale. That was really, really good. Really loved the bottle wrap on that. Don't know if we'll do that again next year. I'm hoping so. I'm fairly certain we'll go to Ealing Beer Festival next year. See you there for a pint. If you are around, that'd be lovely. Come and say hello. Hopefully get out to a few other beer festivals next year as well. See, we're only as far as July. This is why choosing beer of the year is so difficult for me. So I've got to scroll back so far and remember what it is we did across the course of the year. Love that photograph up at Creative Juices. Part of Me Is You session pale ale. But yeah, going up there in the summer and staying late just as the sun goes down. That's May. You get some really good photos up there of the beer outside in the beer garden, as I say, on the farm. I was really pleased with that photograph. That's possibly my photo of the year, I think. Yeah, of course, the other big news from Paravel was opening Saturdays and Sundays this year as opposed to just Saturdays last year. And just once a month last year at the beginning. And we went to every Saturday in this year because supported by the bakery next door. Saturdays is pizza day on the wood-fired pizza oven. Sundays is roast dinners, also utilising the wood-fired pizza oven. And just this week, they done brunch, which basically fry up, depending on your choice of English breakfast materials, even just bacon and egg rolls, bacon rolls. Superb food up there at the Horse and the Loaf. Big shout out to them. That was my other favourite video, the Japanese knotweed sour, because this is why I say Imperial is my brewery of the year pretty much every year now, because just some of the mad stuff my boss does. Japanese knotweed in a beer. Go and check that video out if you haven't seen it. Alongside, was that beforehand? Yeah, that was after. There's a prawn cocktail IPA there somewhere. Is that the one? No, that's the Japanese knotweed sour. It's lovely. Tastes of kind of lemongrass a little bit. No, it's still Japanese knotweed sour. There we go. Prawn cocktail IPA, where we actually use prawn shells and lactose to kind of give a vague hint of prawn cocktail sauce with a little bit of sweetness and like slightly hoppy IPA. Amazing beer, absolutely amazing. Go and check that video out if you can. I'll try and do a link up there if I can remember what side to put it, because I do like going afterwards and linking the beers. Do let me know if you're still watching along. I do like to know you're still there. I can still see the comments. But yeah, I'm not going to pick out. Right, that was the original. That was that. There is the first disco day of this year. It was meant to be back end of last year. I usually try and do it in December. I think I'm going to fail again this year, but that was about February. But yeah, I had a little trip out for those disco beers. Don't forget, by the way, also, if you do see any beers with disco in the name that I haven't tried, do let me know. Both David Wilson and also Adam at Mersey Beers has been trying their hardest this year to find one I haven't already got. They haven't succeeded so far. Every time they send me one, it's like, yeah, that's already on the way. That's already just arrived. It's already in the collection. But yeah, if anybody knows a disco beer that I haven't done next year, do send by the usual channels, Instagram or whatever. There's Rasko. I think that's the last time Rasko posts on Instagram was to let's look at that. That's the roast dinner I put at Paravel. Look at the state of that. Beautifully cooked meat, lovely veg, sides, and a really decent pint to go alongside it. I love my Sundays now. I love working Saturdays and Sundays now when we get that kind of stuff. But also love me Mondays and Tuesdays off. That's why I do this kind of Monday and Tuesday business, because I've got to go work in the morning a little bit different this time of year. But yeah, I'll carry on doing the Mondays probably. Maybe Tuesdays if I can. I try not to do Tuesdays, so I'm working on a Wednesday mostly. Rasko did some contributions. He did his last interview, David Jesudason, about Desai pubs, Indian pubs, and promoting his book. So enjoyed that one. Maybe we'll get back onto the interviews at some point. I think these are last year. Yeah, like that goes back a whole year to December 23. So I haven't seen anything else that I can possibly arguably go into beer of the year, apart from the ones I've already mentioned. And it's probably going to be Doris Gets the Ropes, I think. Like I say, enjoyed those video ideas. Sammy, cheers. Thanks for popping in. Get on to the live beers. And Sammy's in Australia, if you haven't watched him before. And he gets a whole different range of beers and a great way of reviewing them. So, yeah, cheers, Sammy. We'll see you soon, mate. So, yeah, in summary of 2024, it is a numbers game. I love the numbers. And, boy, have we got some good numbers up there. But it's not on your screen. It's on mine. But, yeah, thanks so much for everybody who's popped in, especially to the over 100-odd people that appear to be watching today. I never know how that works on YouTube. I'm just going to carry on putting the numbers on. Going to carry on putting the beers on. Try not to buy too many more. Just review the ones I've got for now. Let's have a quick look. I forgot to review this one properly. So 49th chapter, it says, with a hefty 8 malt base, 8 malts in there, 49th chapter brings deep tones of stoned fruit with a deep, silky, rich mouthfeel, complemented by chocolate and roasted malts and a boozy finish. The hops are Magnums and Goldings, alongside all the usual Welsh. Well, very, very proud to put on there Welsh water, obviously. Fair play. Welsh water, hops, barley, oats, and wheat. Yeah, good amount of oats in there. Not necessarily come through so much on the softness, but it's there. As I say, best before November 2023. So we're a year past the nominal best before date and proving best before dates are nominal. Was it better last year? It's pretty damn good now. So it's one to sip. One probably won't find again. Especially as I say, Mad Dog don't seem to be putting beers out on a web shop. You have to go to their tap rooms in Cardiff or Brighton to get their beers. There is a big boozy finish, definitely a little bit of brandy, maybe vodka, but yeah, a bit more development on the chocolate biscuit, chocolate cream notes, touch of fruit, in on the bitterness. But yeah, a really, really nice beer. As I say, the last of the Mad Dog beers, I did get a couple of orders out from them during lockdown of the cans. Like I say, they got a beer called Stouty McStoutface, Born Sippy. Love it. Love that kind of stuff. As you know, I love puns and jokes. I should put more puns and jokes. I think that's if I do New Year's resolutions, what are yours? Let me know, because I don't do New Year's resolutions. In fact, every year I resolve not to do any New Year's resolutions, thereby failing the whole not doing any New Year's resolutions. But yeah, I'll put some more jokes hopefully into the shows. I'll put some more shows on. I'll try and get some more collabs, get some more people in for a chat. I've got a couple of ideas. I'll send some messages out soon, maybe next year. But yeah, once again, thanks to all the 500 and odd people who've popped across. Thanks to everybody who's popped in today. Thanks to everybody who's joined in the comments over there. Where are they? Over there. Well, they are to me anyway. Keep up the good work. Keep coming over. I'll keep putting lives out. I guess that's the plan anyway. I'll keep doing these things that amuse me, grouping the beers together in vague, slightly tenuous groupings of 3 for the live shows. I will try to get more videos out in the new year. Hopefully you'll enjoy them. Hopefully there'll be something. I always try and do videos that's slightly different to just this kind of in front of the camera reviewing the beers. I try to do a bit more different. I hope to get out and about more, do more out and about. So I hope to do more Paravel content as well. So yeah, come along for the ride as the write-up says at the front. Just trying every beer in the world, trying to entertain whilst drinking every beer we can. Really, just yeah, have fun, enjoy the beers. As I always say, cheers and enjoy the beers. Let me know what else you want. If there's any other content you want, I should do like a 500 subscriber special or something, like a Q&A. Yeah, drop me questions, whatever you want me to do. Let me know. If you see any beers, like I say, especially with disco beers, let me know. Beers with disco in the name, let me know on Instagram or here in the comments. But yeah, apart from that, it's been a lovely end to 2024. I don't think I'll be doing anything tomorrow, but have a great evening. Have a great end to 2024. Have a great new year. See you in 2025. And yeah, cheers and enjoy the beers. Thanks very much indeed. I've been Disco, a Rasko and Disco beer review. This has been there's been the new live show, part 49. It's a numbers game. I hope it keeps adding up. Cheers. See you next time.